Victor, it's Bob and Tony here in our Connecticut TV studio. It's good to speak with you again, Victor.
Hi, Victor.
How you guys doing?
We had you on Thursday night tailgate. We had a blast. We had some great feedback, so we got you on the TV side this time. And again, thanks for all your cooperation.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
We just gave a little bio before you came on, Victor, about your days at Americus High School and how you played 11 years in the league, 168 total games, and we gave a lot more stats. And like we normally like to start with our guest, Victor, we like to know what sports you played as a kid and maybe who are some of your earliest heroes, guys you looked up to.
Well, I ran track, played baseball. Basketball was never my thing, but I tried to dab in that a little bit. Mm-hmm. But some of my mom really has been my hero, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Growing up in America, we didn't have cable, so we didn't watch a lot of television. But she's been the hero of my life, to be honest with you. Obviously, some of the teams that I followed as I grew up, the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of my favorite. Mean Joe, Franco, Bradshaw, those guys. Wow. But heroes, man, my mom, by far has been my biggest hero in my life.
And that was going to be my follow-up question. I think you answered it already. Some of your earliest personal influences, your mom. How about some early coaches, Victor, that really had an impact on you?
Well, my coach in junior college at Capel Lincoln Community College, mm-hmm. Ray Ishii, and his wife, Rhonda, he had a big influence on me. He kind of took me as one of his own and really got me started. A little young guy, wet behind the ears, and he kind of, again, took me in his home and gave me a place to stay away from Americus, Georgia. So, it's a guy that I always remember and always keep in touch with, man. So, I got to say Ray Ishii was a coach that, my early years, it means that meant the most to me.
And we had mentioned before you came on Americus High School how they have a good background in football. Dan Reeves, Kent Hill, among some of the NFL people. How did you settle on Akron as your college choice, Victor?
Well, I just mentioned I went to junior college, mm-hmm. and one of my visits from there was at Akron, and Webster Slaughter, if you remember him, a Cleveland Brown wide receiver.
Sure. His
brother and I visited together. Actually, we got a chance to go up to Cleveland when he was playing there, and he's like, "If you come, I come." I was a young country boy, and. So I wasn't really big on I had to go to Georgia or Alabama type thing, man. I just wanted to play football.
Right.
And, so we visited there and we had a blast and went to Webb Restaurant and it's this big home that he had. And I was blown away. And I was like, hey, I was a school with 32,000 students and, I'd never been up north at that point. And it was a home away from home once I got there, to be honest with you, man. So, Joe Litter is his name, and we decided to get there together, and we roommates, and that's how I decided to go to Akron.
And if I remember correctly, Tony, I think Webster Slaughter and Victor will verify that. Webster was a teammate on the later Jet teams, wasn't he, Victor?
He was. He became my teammate, and again, as a mentor. I talked to Webb a lot, and at that point, he had been in the league for a long time, and, I think I was first couple years. So, got to talk to him a little bit and kind of understand, what the whole NFL thing was about. So he was very influential and in my early years with New York, or in New York.
Excellent. Again, we are on the telephone with former NFL defensive back Victor Green. Tony, questions for Victor?
And Victor, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being with us.
No problem, Tony.
You got from Akron to the Jets, and from what I understand, maybe not the neatest path from one to the other. How did that all come about?
Well, obviously it was a free agent. Now I was projected. I had a pretty good college career, but I projected anywhere from the 3rd to the 6th round. And, from talking to GMs in the NFL, once I got there, they was calling me that tweener. At that time when I came in, you saw mostly 6'2", 6'1", 6'3" safeties, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And, me at 5'11", and, they was like, well, is he a corner? Is he a safety? So I got caught in that tweener stage. That's what I want to tell myself anyway for not being drafted, right? So,
Yeah.
so I was that tweener, man, and but it worked out. And, actually, I picked the Jet because I had like 8 teams call me right after the draft, probably a bit more than that. But, looking at, again, being a country guy, knowing nothing about the NFL, and I said, they didn't draft anybody. But I didn't go check their off-season conditioning sheet, right, when they brought in Ronnie Lott, David Tate, Clifford Hicks. They brought it. I was like, yeah, they ain't need nobody, right? So I went there and I chose New York, and obviously it worked out well for me, but it was a transition for me, and I just came in and put my head down and learned and gave effort every single day. Guys had to tell me, "Hey, Vic, slow down, man." I said, "Shit, I can't slow down, man. I'm trying to make a team here."
Yeah.
So it was a big eye opener for me. Obviously, it was a huge coming from Akron into the speed of the NFL that was so different. But I adjust nicely, and it worked out for me well.
Yeah, and I think I had asked you about that in the last show, Victor. The main difference from college to the pros was the speed at which these guys go and adjusting to it, and I think you hit on that pretty well. But those first 4 years in New York, Victor, they were tough. The wins went down each year until it bottomed out in '96, 1-15. Very tough first 4 years. I mean, was it tough mentally going into the off season each year, Victor, or were you consistently saying this has got to get better?
It was tough. It was tough. Because we had talent. I mean, we really did. We had some talent on our teams. They was consistently bringing in guys like Boomer and guys like that. So we had talent. We just, I think the coaching. Not that I think. I mean, the coaching early stage. I mean, I really thought that we was lacking that, and people really underrate coaching. Look at Belichick that he's today. I mean, Parcells in his days. I mean, Jimmy Johnson in his days. Coaching really, you can win 3 to 5 games on coaching alone. And if you don't have that coaching, you look around the league now, you can lose 3 to 5 games just by coaching. You've seen a few of them, in the last couple of weeks. Not to name any names, but
right.
But I think that was a big thing for us, man. But it was tough. I mean, it was tough. You get to the point where you 1-15, or at that point 1-14, 13, and you're like, man, guys looking for the season to be over. I mean, we can't wait. The bag's already packed, luggage already in the car. It was tough, man. But we look forward to the next year, though. I mean, we really did, because we come back every single year, thinking that we got a chance. And it started off, bad, worse, until Parcells got there and kind of changed the mindset of our football team. And going back to coaching, he came in right away. And it's like, hey, this is my ship. You don't like it, get out now.
Oh, boy.
And he paused for a minute, like, all right, I'm waiting, right? And nobody moved, man. So that point on right there, everybody started with me. That's when he started that off-season conditioning stuff, because at the end of the season, there wasn't no off-season conditioning. Everybody, like I said, we went home, right? We went home. We didn't come back to doggone like May or June when they started doing like these little mini camps. But he really started that off-season conditioning crap, right? He started that. We had to come back in March. Like March? What? You kidding me?
Boy.
So he really started that, and everybody kind of took heed to that. And before you know it, you got that all-season conditioning, and you got these mini camps, and you had these, ones that you didn't have to come to, but you did, right?
Right.
Or if you did, yeah.
Yeah. So he changed the whole mindset, man. But early on in my career, those were pretty tough, but you had to be, mentally strong, and you got to have the effort to really go out there and play to, your best every single Sunday. But Parcells got the best out of everybody with that.
He sure did, and so much for those people, Tony, who say that toughness doesn't work any whatever.
Yeah,
They went from 1-15 to 9-7, an 8-game improvement, and then they improved another 3 games in '98 to 12-4, which we talked about before the show. But yeah, Parcells, again, the great coaches get it done if there's some talent there. Tony.
And Victor, your assistant coaching list under Parcells, I mean, Todd Bowles, Bill Belichick, Romeo Crennel. Did you see head coaching potential in these guys when you were there as a player?
Belichick for sure. Todd, I knew Todd was going to come into his own. He was a very smart defensive back coach. I love talking to Todd. I love just picking his brain on, how he played as a player, what he sees as a coach, how can I be better at what I do. And you knew that he was going to be a great coach. To say he was going to be a head coach at that point, I can't say that until later on. I said he was going to get his opportunity, and obviously he did. He got the team where they are now. But Belichick, I mean, you knew, when he came, how he prepared, how he studied. I mean, we got a game. We just had a game. He's on the front seat, with his laptop already watching film on the team of the upcoming game. So you already saw from Bill when he first came there, how he was as a coach, what he demanded from us as players. But Todd obviously had to come into his own. I think he came under the right regime with Parcells and Belichick. I mean, he learned from the best. He had to go over with Andy Reid and learn from that side, who is a great coach at the same time. So I think he couldn't have been placed in a better situation throughout his career and the coaches he was under. So I think he learned a lot from each and every one of them. Obviously he had his own type of way he coached, and it seemed to be working out for him right now. And I look for Todd to really improve this football team. I still think they missed a few key components, but before long, we're gonna be where we want to be. If we get to the playoff, which I think we should this year, I think that's a good season for him being your first year head coach and first year GM with Mike. But a lot of different players at different positions. So I think he's doing really well, and I think he's going to do well being a head coach in this league.
I totally agree. It was a terrific choice by the Jets. I think the whole Rex Ryan thing, Tony got old, and I think Bowles is all business, and they're going to get it done here. And we had mentioned a lot of the teammates that Victor played with, Tony, and some great names. I mean, some guys were at the end of their careers, but I mean, you had Leonard Marshall, you had Art Monk, you had guys like Nick Lowry,
Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
And that was my question, Victor, as far as
even that water, first size. So we have some great players.
Oh, Keyshawn and Hugh Douglas, and you remember, Tony, we watched them together.
Yes.
These guys were just tremendous. And I was going to ask you about Lott. It was toward the end of his career, Victor, but I'm sure you probably learned a lot from somebody who ultimately ends up in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, man. Ronnie was the first one, when I got there, who I kind of, took a liking to. I think he took a liking to me. I went out to dinner with him and Brian Washington and James Hasty. They took us to this town pie, with the smoke. That was my really first time seeing that when they cook in front of you and all that stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I love the hibachi, that hibachi style.
That is
I
awesome.
tell you, I was some little country bumpkin, man. I was like, I'm hanging out with, Ronnie Lott, Brian Washington, James Hasty, and Cliff Hicks and David Tate. We had all the DBs there, man. So they were bringing me out there when the bill came. I was like, it was like $1,000, right? We had all these guys there. I was like, I'm hoping they wasn't looking for me to pull out no credit card. They
no, not the young guy.
I would have been, I got alligator arms at that time, right? So, like, oh, I got it, man. Like, I got it. I appreciate it, dog. But playing under that guy, behind Ronnie and was able to see him prepare. A guy stand after practice. I mean, he had to be 45 at the time, right?
Yeah.
Stand after practice and hitting the bag, just going through the bag and tackling drills. I'm just standing there watching it. And then, after lunch, he's in the gym, working out. And, and I just joined him, joined him and said, hey, man, can I work out with you? So he used to come get me. Hey, Vic, let's go. So, I learned a lot from Ronnie, man, just more so how he prepares and how hard he works and how you have to approach every single game as a professional. And, you couldn't learn from a better safety than the way he played the game. So, I still talk to Ronnie now, and every time I see him, man, it's like, we just saw each other last week, and he always give me a hug, and he's doing some big things out in California, and a big businessman who I continue to learn from. So I love that guy, man, and he was definitely a mentor early in my career.
Yeah, what a guy to have played under or next to, Tony. Question?
Yeah, for sure. And Victor, you left football at a relatively young age. What made you leave football, and when did you know it was time, or did you think you still wanted to play?
Well, to be honest, man, God really transitioned me my last couple years, out of the game. I started getting into a lot of real estate. Started buying up a lot of properties throughout, America, and then I got into television, NFL expert for Comcast. So I was on live 3 days a week there. So, I was doing that as I was leaving the game, and kind of once I retired, I still had that urge to play, no question about it, but wasn't getting the calls. Still working out and preparing to get that call, but obviously still doing my business, entrepreneurship type of stuff, man. And and at some point, when the phone stop ringing, it's like a girlfriend, right? Old girlfriend back in the day. It's like, you ain't getting them calls anymore, Victor. Hey, wake up, right? All right, time to move on. She don't want you no more, right?
Yeah.
So I had to come to reality, if you will, man. And it wasn't by skill set. I still could play, but and I wasn't depressed once I left the game. I didn't regret it once I left the game. I was fine mentally, as far as I was okay as far as not wanting to play or didn't play. So the transition, man, that God put me under was like tremendously, really, because I went from playing football and went right into my foundation, my entrepreneur stuff and my family. I get to be there with my son and take them to school and spend some time with my kids, man. So it was good. It was really good for me, man.
Yeah.
It was really good. I think, at the time that I left, I was, relatively healthy. I was still able to walk away and get out of the bed, and it was fun. It was good. It was time. It was time. Even though I could have played a few more years, obviously God saw something I didn't, so I don't complain about it.
Well understood.
And Victor, you had an 11-year career, 9 of them in New York, and usually if you spend 9 years in one place and then have to leave for another place, it's very tough on it. And I'm sure in a way it was, but you went to New England, not that far away. You went to a coach like Belichick, who you were familiar with. So that whole transition probably wasn't too bad.
It wasn't, because I felt, even though New England was a rival of the Jets, I felt going and playing on the Belichick, who I respected so much.
Right.
I mean, he's, who I feel probably the best coach in the NFL, and I'll take it a step farther and say this guy is the best coach at every position in the NFL, and I mean that sincerely. And obviously, the defensive coordinator speak for himself. The head coaches speak for itself. He ran the offense when Charlie Weiss went down with his. When he was out, he was the offensive coordinator. a special team coach. He's been that. So, hey, this guy is one of the coaches you'll want to play for. I learned a lot from Belichick, but the transition, it was tough. It was. I didn't want to leave New York. We had a contract dispute, and which has always seemed to be the case in the NFL.
Yeah.
And, obviously you got to work. It's like if you leave your job now and go to CBS or somebody, hey, you got to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I looked at it like that. And, but, New York and my Jets is always, my blood is bled green. And, I still love the team. That's why I do so much with the team now. That's why, I wear my green and white. And this fan's just special to me. But it was tough leaving. But you got to do what you got to do. And, when I came back to New York, the second game of the season, that was tough for me. That was tough for me. Even though I got a 90-yard interception return for a touchdown, I didn't know how the fans will respond to me and treat me. And, I don't know, because I know how brutal our fans are. Yeah. But they were so gracious. And, we love you, Victor. And, we want you back, Victor. And, so that really, that really, like, calmed everything down for me. And I just felt at home again, even though I was in a New England uniform. So, but it was tough. But, I always felt, like I said, bled green and white. And I will till the day I die.
You just have a couple more minutes with Victor Green, and I know, Tony, you wanted to bring up Victor's foundation.
Yeah, no, thank you. And tell us about your foundation, Victor, and what made you start it and what the purpose is and the things that you're doing.
Well, kids has always been my passion. And, real my passion has always been education, health, and wellness, and character. I feel that you can build on those three things in life no matter what you do. You can be successful. So the Victor Green Foundation, we give to other charities that support those visions. But, as of late, and, my thing is I want to create, the Victor Green Foundation, want to create opportunities for these kids, right? It's one thing giving money, right? Giving money to the charities. But the kids, they got a place to stay. They got something to eat. But they're not expanding their minds, right? So if I could take these kids to the Jets game, to the Statue of Liberty, to basketball game, if I can take them and expand their minds, to see beyond their box that they're in, then they can be successful. And that's where I want to take these kids to, man. So, that's why I'm doing this giveaway. Online, I just put one up there. I'm giving them away my jersey for the first 100 fans that donate to my foundation. It's a passion of mine, man, just to create opportunities for these kids. Dare to Be, it's a homeless shelter in New York City that we donated to this year. Brooks, the Bronx, the Boys and Girls Club. We gave 2 scholarships to AJGA. I guess we sponsored to play in their golf event for one kid in New York and one kid in Atlanta. So we want to create opportunities, man. That's what the Victor Green Foundation is, man. So you fans out there, please go to the website. You guys donate. We got PayDunk who's sponsoring this whole thing. You're very secure and that app that they have. So don't be afraid. You got to put out your license. It's very secure. They're just getting your address that's on your license, man. So they're just the opportunities that you have to change lives. It's special. It's really special, guys. So you guys out there, go to the site, man. They always say it takes a village. It takes a village. I can't do it by myself. I can't. I got, hundreds of thousands of people that I'm reaching every single day, and we just get a percentage of that, donating, guys. We can change a lot of lives. We all talk about it, not be about it. Be about it. Go to the site, donate, so you can see me present a check to these foundations, right? So we can make a difference. Not me, not the Victor Green Foundation, so we can make a difference in the world. That's what the Victor Green Foundation is about.
That's a great
and
mission.
I was just going through the website yesterday, Victor, there's so many great things. I mean, it serves youths in various communities, Tony, but some of the objectives, and you can't get any more bare bones important than this, is to reduce dropout rates, increase academic excellence, reduce juvenile crime rate, discourage gang participation.
Yeah.
You can't get any more noble than that. These are some of the things that Victor is involved with. But and having, I bumped into a couple weeks ago, Victor, one of your ex-teammates, Tabucky Jones. He coaches.
Yeah.
He coaches high school right here down the road. And I didn't get a chance to talk to him too much, but he coaches here, and just wondering, with all your experience as a pro and with kids, have you ever given a thought to like coaching at a high school level or maybe even higher?
Well,
if you had the time,
I
maybe.
coached. I coached my son's team this year.
Yep.
I did. Mount Pisgah, a private school my son attended, and I coached the defensive back coach there a few years ago. So. I was at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was a pro scout there, and then intern as a defensive back coach there. But I had some aspirations of being a pro scout. And I talked to Mike McCatton, possibly join the Jets next year. Hopefully, he got a spot there. But I do want to do that. I am passionate about that. And it goes back to the young kids that coming into the league, man. Yeah. I want to do it for that reason because. I want to educate, not just how to play the game, but educate these young kids on life as they go through, how to save your money, how to invest your time.
Yeah.
Those are the things that these kids, I know the NFL do a lot, but you got to have somebody that they trust, that they believe in, that they show passion with. And that's what these kids going to follow. When you put them in a room and you put somebody on the stage, la, 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 la. It goes in one ear after the other. Right. But if you can show that kid that I'm there, you can call me anytime, I'm here for you, I got your back, those are the times, those are the kids, that's who they want to listen to, man. And that's where I want to be influential at, man, in these kids' lives, man. I'm going to get them early, but if I can get them at that later stage, too, while they're impressionable, you got a chance.
Amen to that.
Wow.
Again, there is no more noble cause, and I know Victor will be terrific at whatever he undertakes. Again, you could follow Victor at VictorGreen21 on Twitter. The VictorGreenFoundation.org is the website. Again, we urge our viewers to go to that. Victor, our time is up. You've been very generous with
You really
your time.
have, Victor.
I'm sure we'll talk again, maybe on the other show again with Chris. You're always welcome back here. We'll continue to spread the good work you're doing and follow the Jets and your progress. And again, we can't thank you enough for sharing some time tonight with us.
Thank you so much, Victor.
Hey, I appreciate you guys for giving me a voice, man. Thank you very much.
Good night, Victor. Take
Our
care.
pleasure.
God bless you.
Good night, sir.
God
You
bless
too.
you. Bye-bye.
Take care.